explain those Badlands. That's a hell of a name.
Well, good evening, mofos. I'm sorry, Ash. You're muted again.
I see how it is.
Was total accident.
Was Ash supposed to come in with a unique introduction?
No,
No, you just forgot about me.
skip past. Okay, fine. Here, we'll just leave it.
Softdisclosure.com, promo code Badlands, get your Valentine's bundles. Today is the last day for like regular shipping fees to get it there by Valentine's Day.
And then we get into a regular shipping or what?
And you have to pay like a 3-day or whatever in order to guarantee it. It's business days too. I'm learning with shipping. That seems messed up. I don't work on weekends.
That's a weird thing. Oh no, we got Matt Trump in the house too.
Yes.
Dang.
Yes, Matt Trump.
Nice. You guys missed the fact that. What's up, Matt?
Oh,
You guys missed the. Oh, go ahead.
what's up? What isn't up? You know, everything seems to be up right now,
It's a great time. Great
except
time to
for
be alive.
precious metals and Bitcoin and all that.
Oh shit! I just like bought a couple
Right out of the
$1,000
gate.
for the Bitcoin. I was saving up, and then the day after I bought it, it dropped down to 60. I was like, no.
So proud of all you guys. I didn't get one text, one message. Even Alpha didn't call me or say anything. And so I'm really proud of you guys. Good job.
Wait, do people normally text you like, is this it? Should I sell when it's at its lowest?
Yeah, what's going on with Bitcoin? Why is it doing this? I'm like,
Has
Why
anyone
do
hold on. Has anyone in this room ever texted or called G Money in a panic about Bitcoin?
No,
Absolutely not.
no. I've been paying attention to Bitcoin since it came out, so I've seen these cycles every single time.
John
Jay,
isn't on
is it
here.
you? Are you the one he's referring to? Jay?
I'm
You
absolutely
were
not.
a little squirrely at the question.
Since she talked me into it.
I resent that. I've never called you in a panic, G Money.
You were bored.
What about in a frenzy? Does that count?
What? When did I do that?
I don't know.
Hysteria?
Don't make me go
Is
through
that-
messages. What is defund the CHP? What is that, Cam?
Says defund the CIA. It's a rise of tide
Oh.
here, bro. It's on the
Have you
website.
That's
Have you heard of the CIA?
It does
before?
look like CHP though.
I thought it was CHP, like California Highway Patrol. I thought you had beef
Yeah.
against our highway patrol.
That's funny.
CHP.
Like, did Cam come and visit and get beat up on the highway by CHP?
Where's the P? I don't see the.
No,
It's,
was that an
The
A?
A.
it's really up to
A.
interpretation, Cam.
Yes.
It's definitely CIA, so I wouldn't get too.
No,
I
it
was
is.
like-
Now that I'm looking at it, it is.
Very cool.
Oh, hey, speaking of CIA, did everybody see people thinking that Jeffrey Epstein was just hanging out at Langley?
No.
No.
So
What?
there's a couple of different pictures of him, like in
Everywhere.
this.
Pull
Well,
them
yeah,
in.
there's
Pull them in before you're not describing the pictures to us. We have to be able to see the pictures.
okay. Hold
Because
on.
what
let
you
me-
just described as hanging out at Langley, I'm wondering if it's the same picture that a few days ago they said he was hanging out in Israel.
that was fake. That was obviously totally fake. So
But this one isn't.
no, no.
Totally real.
This is a
Totally
real
different.
picture. This is a series of real pictures of Jeffrey hanging out at this museum in the back end, and the initials of the museum are CIA. It's like the Cleveland Institute of Arts. Okay, and they just write it. They shorten it to CIA. But I've seen a number of people, quite a few people, just say, "Well, there you have it, Jeffrey Epstein at the CIA."
Those are the same people that call G Money in a panic about Bitcoin.
Could be.
Well,
Could be.
the same people think Satoshi is Epstein too. So yeah,
Okay. All right. Oh my
lots
god.
of
smart.
retardism going on.
Oh, that went around a lot this week.
It sure did.
That
Yeah.
Well, you know
stirs
what's
up the
funny
re-
about it? You know what's funny about it too is that the Q people or whatever are kind of going in that direction. But the opposite of that is Bitcoin normies are basically the same way retarded in the opposite direction. Trump's still a bad guy pushing shit coins and blah blah. It's just both sides are just kind of a mess. Pretty funny.
Okay. So
Nagamine coin to the
Can you
moon.
send
Can
me,
you zoom in on him?
send a link to this, by the way.
this is only one of them. There are multiple, but just so you can see it. Now these are just plastic bins. It says CIA on the side, and none of this stuff is in a secure area. It's not like, you've got CIA written back here as well. If it was a CIA document repository, these would be secure boxes. Okay. I mean, like they wouldn't just be open like that. And anyways, I mean, as soon as I saw this, I was like, okay, I know exactly what this looks like. And I went and looked it up, and it's definitely not the Central Intelligence Agency. It is actually the Cleveland Institute of Art.
When is this picture supposed to have been taken? Like, I mean,
I don't know. I mean, like it's all part of
Okay.
just the dump of documents. I mean, this was one of the organizations that Jeffrey Epstein supported financially, and he had property in Ohio. Les Wexner was from Ohio. They both, I mean, their properties were right next to each other. Les Wexner has purchased like an entire town basically, and he's buying out the land from underneath people, forcing them to leave their family homes, and then he's turning it into a giant industrial park.
Nice.
So, I mean, this is part of Jeffrey Epstein's PR rehabilitation. And Jeffrey Epstein pictured among boxes containing CIA documents. Why was he allowed to be in a room with such potentially sensitive material? Now, I want to be very clear. I'm not saying Jeffrey Epstein was not in any way affiliated with the CIA, or that he wasn't, at one point at Langley, or perhaps wasn't around CIA documents, but there certainly wasn't people at Langley taking his picture and then sharing it via email. That's just not how it works.
And you said this is the Cleveland Institute of Art.
Yes.
That it does look like he's in like a fashion design kind of space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look,
leather
That appears to
hides
be
a leather stack right there.
Yeah.
maybe that's where at the CIA they do the disguises. Maybe
that could be it.
Well,
Could be it.
I've heard Langley has a crafting room.
a scrap.
John, you want
What?
Yeah.
You want to share my screen real quick? This is who they're afraid of, by the way, guys. It's CIA.edu. I went to the website, the Cleveland Institute of Art.
They
That's
break
literally
the
where he
rules,
was.
Ooh.
Yeah, they break the rules. They create with love. But that's where he was. He was actually at their building in Cleveland.
Those bananas remind me of Podesta art. I don't like it.
I think the whole thing's creepy. I think it probably is a CIA front, but it's technically an art institute. Like regular people work there.
Oh, very easily could be.
Art
With the
auctions are like
FBI
money
code
laundering
for
central.
banana.
Did you guys see the Fortnite thing this week too?
I did see the Fortnite thing. That's kind of been debunked.
Yeah, fully debunked,
Yeah.
I'd say.
Well, there
Yeah.
was another one there that gaijin.net. It's another like gaming platform. And somebody was like, I saw the Fortnite thing and I saw that it was debunked. So I went to gaijin.net and I decided to see if JEE vacation at gmail.com was registered, and it was. So then he found the account for JEE vacation at Google or gmail.com. And the gamer tag is Little St. James 1. And that actually had been active after Jeffrey Epstein had died. And it was still active right now. But of course, given what they said about Fortnite, we have no idea whether or not it was always Little St. James 1 or if it was changed at one time. But the point being that the email that he uses is on there. Now, if he's not alive, then that would mean somebody with access to his email perhaps is getting in and playing on that game platform. It's not unheard of because somebody was able to crack into his Outlook, or maybe it was his Outlook, because the FBI failed to redact his password in one of the documents. And so they went and logged in, and I saw it live. It was on Reddit, and they were like, there's basically nothing in here. Everything is cleared out.
I feel like that's inexcusable because they've been redacting those documents for like 15 years, man.
They have. They definitely left he and Ghislaine Maxwell's phone number in there in a couple of spots because I saw it. I was like, what's that?
Should we call them?
No. It's actually assigned to somebody else now. It's now affiliated with a jewelry store in New
whoever
York.
that is.
Yeah.
Totally.
That guy's had a good week.
Not good. So yeah, I was actually going to call it. I was like, wouldn't it be funny if I did this on the air? And then I went and checked, and it's definitely attached to a jewelry store now. And then there was something else. There was something else about the. There's a guy named. Oh shit! Hold on, I got to go back to the documents. Lyndon Lee. Lyndon Lee is a guy. There's like 35 pages of communications with Lyndon Lee, Jeffrey Epstein, and Jean-Luc Brunel. And they definitely talk about setting up, him to be around when there are girls there. Well, if you come on Thursday, there will be 10 to 15 girls. If you come on Friday, there will be 30 to 40 girls. Okay, so your choice.
Did you guys talk about this on Monday on Baseless?
No, not this. I didn't find this until last night.
Okay.
The reason that Lyndon Lee is interesting is because he's on the board of directors of the Not for Sale Foundation, which is a human trafficking foundation. And there's a lot more stuff in there as well. He emails Jeffrey and he's like, I'm going to be in New York on this date. He was like, do you have any advice? And then Jeffrey's like, yes, we should talk. I understand. And then he says, email me at this email because nobody else has access to it. And Jeffrey says, even still, there's a forever record. So there's obviously subtext and something that he doesn't want to say in the email because he knows anybody could read it at some point in the future. There's another one where Jeffrey's trying to get a job for a girl at some organization. And Lyndon says, I got her the job. She's going to have to do an interview. Unless she does something really bizarre, she's going to get the job. And he's like, make sure they know she's not a toy. She's serious. Make sure they know she's not a toy. Toys are available though. And then he's like, okay, I get it. Yeah, really messed up. There's so much more, but I mean, that was just what I remember off the top of my head.
Do you guys find it interesting that the Pizzagate is, stuff is coming back up into the zeitgeist, and Bill Maher apologized to Q and all that? Like, it seems like they're trying to get ahead of stuff.
Well, I mean, if they're not trying to get ahead of it, then they're just like finally coming to their senses and realizing.
Or there's that.
Yeah.
But I bet Bill Maher's in the Q drop. So like, I got to figure like he's known about this for a while.
Well, Bill Maher had that Kid Love Productions company too.
Yeah,
the Red Shoes.
Kid Love Productions, Red Shoes, the whole 9 yards. Yeah. And now he's on air apologizing to Q.
He didn't apologize.
Well, he said, where did we apologize?
He said, where does QAnon go for an apology? And he basically acknowledged that the child sex trafficking, CSAM, SRA stuff was correct, at least directionally in that. But he danced around, he talked around the issue. Didn't apologize at all for mocking everybody since 2018.
I understand. I just think like that was what he was implying is
but
apology.
That's enough, Jay. The point is that that's enough. It's enough for everyone to say, "Oh my God, Bill Maher apologized to QAnon. It's great." Well, he didn't actually.
No. I'm not saying it's great. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying.
It's telling us about visibility filtering, but not.
I'm not saying it's great at all. I'm saying he's trying to get ahead of something. I think he's trying to move the goalposts, admit to a little bit, but not everything.
It's PR management.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
all it is.
Right, it's great. It's PR. Yeah.
Yep. I think that Bill Maher is trying to throw everybody else under the bus, save himself, obviously, like you said, PR management. But the one thing that I really noticed was at the beginning, he said they had a lot of crazy, outlandish things like eating babies, celebrity pedophiles, all this stuff. He was like, but it seems that the Epstein Island stuff is true. He completely disregarded all the other stuff, which I still believe to be true. So he's not at all apologizing whatsoever. And if anything, he's trying to wedge a little distance between himself and the people that are definitely going to go down so that he keeps his audience, his allure, and his name is never fully brought up. So he looks like he's complying.
Yeah. And my point was not about what you said, Jay. It's more the tactic. He doesn't have to come anywhere even close to apologizing. He just needs to talk about it. And if he talks about it, then people just Bill Maher's a good guy now.
Oh yeah, Bill Maher's totally.
I played the clip the other day and I was like, I want to be so clear. Like, I am not trying to tell you guys that Bill Maher is a good dude or that we should fucking start following him or anything like that. I just I like to see it. I'll be really honest with you. I mean, it's definitely satisfying. And I guess to your question, Jay, I find it satisfying more than anything else, because this is a moment I think a lot of us have been waiting for. Like, we knew that at some point this was going to break through the cultural zeitgeist at where it would be impossible to ignore it. People would have to admit that this stuff was going on. And it's been gradually happening over the last couple of years in the mainstream media. But they have, up until this point, been able to successfully isolate it to Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Now it has spilled beyond the boundaries of the dike. The wall has broken, you know, and floodwaters are just like, you know, rushing over people's straw huts.
Isn't it funny though that like it took like 9 years to like prep the public for this? Like that's what I'm kind of shocked about.
Yeah,
it took them.
Are you shocked though?
Well, I mean, look, me and Zach are probably having flashbacks from the adrenochrome digs and freaking Tom Hanks is, you know, and all.
Yeah,
like I'm literally having flashbacks, and it's like, wow, like we were here like 9 years ago talking about this stuff, and it's kind of wild that it circled back. But like Ed, I'm like, they needed to prep the public for this long with Epstein. Like, I mean, I don't think there's been a week that's gone by without this being in the news for the past 9 years. And it's crazy to me that the population is this like under a spell that they had to plan it out this long. I think is kind of the, you know, just shocking.
Yeah, it is. And it's, I think after, to your point, G, after like 7 or 8 years, you start to, you know, question whether it's ever going to be brought out into the public in a non-mocking way. I mean, you know, when we talk about Pizzagate 7-8 years ago, it was like you were just mocked to no end, and if not canceled. And now you've got like Tucker, you know, kind of admitting maybe there's something to it, you know. And I don't think like necessarily these people are good guys or anything. I think that they're just being forced to now come out and bring it up in a way that's not mocking, but you know, it's one step closer to like the public actually accepting that these things may be true. I think that's a good thing. I think it's a step in the right direction.
So let me tell you guys something else that I've noticed. So the other day there was an email where somebody had said to Jeffrey Epstein, so the subject is Veru, and that is because there's an attachment from some institute, Brookline or something, Veru Equity Research, brookline.pdf. And somebody writes to him and they say, this is better than a Chinese cookie, see attached. And then they sign off by saying, let's go for pizza and grape soda again. No one else can understand. Go KNO, go no. But so there's like one instance, pizza, obviously Pizzagate stuff. I mean, that's rife throughout these documents. Grape soda. Grape is a word that people will use so that they don't have to say rape. All right. It's also something that kids are going to drink. This is not the only time that it comes up in that exact phrasing. Multiple times in these emails, there is a reference to pizza and grape soda. There is another email between Jeffrey. It's actually a text message, maybe a Google message or something, between Jeffrey Epstein and a urologist who is prescribing him some type of erectile dysfunction medicine. And his name is Harry Fish. All right. And he's telling Epstein that he ordered him this medicine, Stendra.
I thought it too, Jay.
I'm glad Cam's with me on that.
Yeah, I was like, I can't hold
Harry
that laugh.
Fish. Harry Fish.
Man.
All right. So he tells him to go pick up the medicine. And then he says, after you use them, wash your hands and let's go get pizza and grape soda. Again. Yeah. Pizza and grape soda. What does anybody here think they're really getting pizza and grape soda? I mean, grape soda is what we used to joke about them drinking in the hood. You know, I mean, like, let me get some Faygo.
It's not exactly like
purple drink.
Purple drink. Yeah.
Purple drink. I remember Marcus Russell was all high on that stuff. I was just playing for the Raiders. Yeah.
You're talking about lean. You're talking about codeine. We were talking about like sugar water and purple. We weren't talking about the drug.
No, he's talking about purple drink. Is that something different?
There's purple drink is like purple drink, but it can also be purple drink, which is lean. Like it really
was lean. Yeah.
Oh, never mind. Okay, so
we're not going to talk about drugs on this. Let's go back.
Well, let's just say that I'm sure that Jeffrey Epstein and his pals are not talking about either of those. They're talking about something entirely different.
I was actually thinking it was like the grape soda it meant that they were drugged. Like the pizza was drugged. They gave them the grape soda.
I mean,
the difference between a child like being like tortured, I hate to say it, versus a child that's like comatose. I don't know. My mind went to the darkest thoughts.
Well, remember like back when the Pizzagate thing was erupting and they had that FBI like memo that was talking about all the different phrases. Does anybody have that still? And
I've got a copy of it. Grape soda is not on there.
It's not on there. Okay, just making sure.
But I mean, that sounds like something you would give a kid if you were going to drug a drink. You give them grape soda, they're going to swallow it right down because it's just sugar.
Sure.
Yeah.
And maybe it is that purple drink. It's got codeine or something in it.
Yeah.
Something to knock them out.
Mm-hmm.
All I know is these people are sick, man. Q was right about one thing for sure. These people are fucking sick.
Yep.
Burning Bright in the chat says, I heard a retard from X. Heard from a retard on X that Epstein was talking about Biden clones until Sather forced him to capitulate like a mongoloid pussy.
We should find that. I'll go look on Sather's thing.
No, let's not. Let's not.
Okay.
Let's not. Mostly joking. Where did Ash go?
She left when he came back. She's still mad at you from the intro. Or when we first
No,
came in.
she was gone when I came back.
That was
What'd you guys
she
do?
left right before you came back, man.
What'd you guys do?
It was you. I'm telling
We're
you.
talking about pizza and grape soda.
Yeah. During Black History Month. Grape soda.
Hey,
Black
are we
History
gonna
Month,
go?
man.
Are we gonna golf in Nashville, John?
You want to?
Yeah, I golfed today and I played really well. So I'm like,
I think the weather should be good in April.
That's
how
how they
well?
suck you
I had
in.
like 6 or 7 pars today, which is like really unbelievable for me.
Nice.
So,
Well, how'd you do on the other 2 or 3 holes?
oh, I still shot like a 90. It was either a par or a triple. So
Cool.
for
Yeah,
some
let's
reason,
do
I
it.
hit a lot of pars. All right.
All in,
Let's do it.
That's
I'm
how
not
it's
gonna bring my
done.
clothes. We'll have to like rent or whatever, but
Yeah,
I'm down.
fine. That's fine. That was so crazy when we were in Florida and there's like alligators on the freaking golf course.
It's Florida,
Such a
man.
Florida thing. It's like, be careful of the alligators. You're hitting your ball and there's like an alligator over there. It's like, what the hell?
Ash said she was sick of you guys. So she left.
I
I
mean,
scared
it
her
makes sense.
off.
It's kind of a scary crowd.
Down.
I get it.
What do you guys think of Trump's racist video? Is there anything I missed?
So racist.
Epstein stuff,
Dude.
kind of.
Yeah,
What
I
I
just-
kind of-
I don't want to
Epstein
talk about Epstein anymore. I'm so sick of talking about Epstein.
Well, it was what Zach was talking about was interesting. It wasn't the normal stuff you hear in the news, but
it's still related. It's all gay.
Well, I mean,
Definitely
I found a man who sits on the board of a human trafficking foundation who is
Yeah.
talking about trafficking
Like
girls
trying to
with
stop
Epstein.
human trafficking. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Anyways,
Yeah,
what else?
that's-
What else happened this week? I don't even know.
I was going to say I checked out that website wearenotforsale.org. I wanted to throw that in,
Mhm.
and so it's human trafficking. I don't know. I wrote it down. Somebody was talking about that.
Yeah, that was me.
Zach.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ecocide on the battlefield, momentum bills to recognize environmental destruction. Yeah, it's like total Chizo and NGO that you'd expect.
Yeah.
And like Zach said, the guy is at the not at the center, but he was definitely in those emails.
Oh yes. Yeah. There was like 35 pages of
Yeah.
emails between him and Epstein. Plenty of them are just, innocuous, talking about boats and
Yeah.
planes and, what time you're going to be in Paris and shit like that. But then when he asks about girls,
Yeah, it's all fun and games with that list of food items, back a couple of years ago. Oh, that's so bizarre. But then you sink into the emails, and I have not, but it sounds like there's so many examples of this that, you don't want to believe that there's so many examples of this at some point.
That's why I think it lasted so long.
Yeah, and the public is now digesting something that many of us have had a longer time to digest. So there's going to be some queasy feelings out there as people really dig into the significance of this. There's people that are probably coming to grips with that for the first time right now in a way that can't not leave you rattled at least a little bit, no matter how jaded you are about the world.
I found this leftist who was like, my world is like completely like ending. Everything that these crazy people have been talking about is true. Like they paradigm shifted. It was great.
I wonder how far they'll take that.
We'll see. Right now, it seems they're all still focused on the idea that Trump is actually a child molester.
Yeah.
I've been getting a lot of new people in the chat on YouTube who were like, "You're a fucking shill for Israel." I'm like, you are so smart. You've got it all figured out.
Isn't
John, you
it
want
fun
to talk
just to
about
let them believe that? They just like,
Yes.
yeah, go ahead, believe that. Whatever.
poke the bear, man? Make him more mad. I love it. Fuck 'em. You want to talk about racist videos, John?
Yeah, I'm just done talking about the Epstein files. If you guys want to keep going, I'll sit here silently and wait.
Let's talk about the racist
like,
video.
Like what the normies are going through right now. Like they all, like most of them heard about Q, right? Like, let's be honest, like your friends and family, normies, like they heard about the shit. And then they see this drop. And so in their minds, is this like confirming Q or what do you think is going on in their heads? Like,
good question.
Are they more confused or do they think we're right? You know, that's why I think a lot of them are like actually rejecting the idea completely still. They're like the cognitive dissonance I think that's happening with them is they're like, I'm too smart. Like this didn't happen. That is still a psyop. And I think a lot of them are still actually not accepting it. Funny enough.
Well, bro, I mean, one, I think as much as some of the Q crowd wants to like think this vindicated them, I don't think it really did. And number two, a lot of the like most irresponsible Q posters are posting garbage, which is like
it's true.
That's correct.
It's gonna push people further away.
Well,
so
and that's funny.
And
I
you
think
guys shouldn't care about the vindication anyway. Like, who cares?
I don't care about it.
Is important. I think the vindication is important to a degree.
It seems like your personality style.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I only got in this to make sure I was right, John. I never fucking cared about anything else. I was right.
I know, G.
What's funny, John, is that the shit that you've called out, you know, the irresponsible stuff, that's the stuff that the left is latching onto. Is like the most smooth brained takes without any sort of like deeper investigation. It's just words on a screen, and they've taken it and they've internalized. Exactly. And so, you know, even still, we're not at the point of like really reaching people. But my ultimate point early on in the conversation was just that this is now broken into the zeitgeist. And for so many years, they've had it contained to Epstein and Ghislaine. And now it's really spread out. And, you know, whether or not you think it's any sort of confirmation or anything, it's undeniable that it is taking people down right now. And I don't know for certain that some of these people who are losing their positions or, you know, being forced to get fired, lose their jobs, I don't know that they necessarily were abusing kids, but I think it's undeniable that they were hanging out with a guy who was a registered sex offender in 2 states and they had zero qualms with it. And so I don't care, you know, like get on with you. I also think it's awesome that the Washington Post laid off like nearly 400 reporters this week, some of them who were camped out in the middle of a fucking war zone in Ukraine. They wake up in the morning and they see that they're fired and they're like, how am I going to get home? I have to sleep in my car on the front lines. Oh my God. I thought that was so
Front
funny.
lines.
Yeah. Don't worry. The war's not real, bro. They're not even, it's just a movie set. They're fine. They're fine.
Too funny.
Like Thunder.
Yep, exactly. They just don't know they're in it.
Gee, what are your friends saying?
Well, so I'm on the Bitcoin spaces, right? And it's funny because like here I am, I'm trying to help these people like understand how evil this stuff was and how these Q drops were real and how they'll help them uncover the rabbit hole, because like what they're going to is they're going off on these other like crazy conspiracy rabbit holes, and I think they're getting lost. And so I'm trying to bring them back in. But then when they bring him back in, then they'll see a stupid post about like Joe Biden being a body double and shot and like all this stuff that doesn't even like make sense. And you're like, like it's like 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. And so I'm like, well, I don't even know how to like talk to these people because like I'm trying and I get a little bit, you know, and then they see something stupid from a Q person and it's like, well, there goes that. You know,
you know, but that's the path, though. I mean, we've seen it on our side, too. I mean, it's all the same. You know, I mean, like people have their egg shells cracked open. And then the next thing you know, they're just like taking everything in and they've got to figure out, you know, what's got legitimacy. what do they need to discern as truth? And, you know, it's just part of the process, you know.
And so one guy's actually like he was an ex-military fighter pilot. I had him on my show, this guy named Puncher. And he is literally friends with some of the top brass all the way up to Raising Cain, what's his name, one of the admirals or whatever.
Yeah.
And somewhere in those ranks, if someone very high up, he asked them about Q. And the guy responded and said -1. And I'm like, wait a minute. If someone is in an ongoing military operation and you are quite essentially retired and you ask a current military operator about this operation, like, why would they wouldn't tell you, right? I mean, isn't there some kind of code that would like prohibit them from talking about this sort of shit?
Well, that's if that guy is even part of it.
No,
And
right. No, I know. I'm saying that's what I'm saying. But like, he's like, well, I trust this guy to tell me if it was right because he would know. And I'm like, well, that's just like saying you're too lazy to do your own research, so you're going to just trust some other guy's like opinion on it.
Which the
Yeah.
underlying problem
And, like,
there is
people
argument
only-
from authority.
Exactly.
People
Greg.
only know what
Yep.
they know. You know, I mean, like, what if you're talking to somebody who's not read in on what you're specifically asking them about? You know, if that is not part of their, like, you know, conception of what reality is, then what are they going to say about it?
But here's where they go with it, right? They're like, I'm like, hey guys, like this was real, right? This is what happened. This is how I was able to, you know, in my own opinion, figure out that Bitcoin was part of this. And you should go back and look at this as part of the beginning of the rabbit hole. And then they go, well, like, how do we know that just wasn't a psyop on top of another psyop on top? And I'm like, how far down these different rabbit holes are you going to go when you're like, look, the mainstream media attacked Trump, Q. I actually looked this up today. Like Trump, Q, and Bitcoin are like in the top 10 things that have been attacked over the past 10 years, constantly, maliciously, over and over and over again. And they still think Trump is a bad guy because he launched a shitcoin. And, you know, I don't think I'm ever going to get through to these people, just like some of the Q-tards, right? I can't get through with Bitcoin. It's this weird compartmentalization that I can't quite crack.
Well, G, do you think it's necessary? Like, why do people need to go down the Q rabbit hole at this point in time? Like, why does that matter? Like, well, I understand while it's coming out live and it's like this new interesting information, but is it required at this moment in time to like wake up?
Here's
like,
here's my opinion, right? Like if there was a Q operation, right, and Bitcoin is part of that Q operation, my entire thing was like, maybe there's a way I can prove the two are connected. And what's happening, what you have in the Bitcoin space is kind of this bifurcation where people are like, well, I don't know if Bitcoin's going to make it. I don't know if this is going to happen. And I'm like, well, if we can go back to the source, which is, you know, so Q, whatever you can call it, real or not. And if I can somehow mathematically interpret some of this stuff as connecting it to Bitcoin, like, wouldn't that give you a little bit more faith in Trump and Lutnick and Bessent and whether they're in the drops or not, right? Bringing about this new crypto world, like, wouldn't that bring somebody a little bit more faith in this entire? I'm trying to give people like this positive spin because there are so many doomers out there in the Bitcoin space that are like, well, we're under surveillance state. We're all going to just be slaves. Like they're, you know, Palantir and the CIA and Trump are all in bed with the Zionists. And this is never going to get any better. And Michael Saylor is centralizing Bitcoin. And so it's like every single one of these people is dooming out to like the max degree. And I'm trying to be like, yo, guys, you guys are like reading this thing the entire wrong way. I just, you know, it's just a very powerful dark energy that, and that's what the thing is. These people are smart because they figured out Bitcoin, but they're not as smart as they think they are because they didn't figure out this other like conspiracy stuff. And so in their heads are like, I figured out Bitcoin, so I'm smart. And so
how did they figure out Bitcoin? Like, what would you define that being?
Like they got in early, right? They figured it out early to some degree, got in like 2014, 2015 and held on.
I'd be curious what they think Bitcoin actually is, because I think if you quote unquote figure out Bitcoin, the rest of that stuff doesn't really even matter from like a first principle standpoint.
Well, I think a lot of them think that Satoshi was just some guy in his basement, right? His mom's basement, just came out of nowhere, right? Which I think is silly to begin with if it's going to be the new global standard, right? Like it just came out of hot air. There was no problems with it, but that's kind of the world I'm living in. So it's fine.
I mean, to me, like the way it's decentralized, that's the ultimate weapon against a centralized power is the ability to totally decentralize. And when you think of all the possible use cases for Bitcoin, in my mind, figuring out Bitcoin is understanding how it works and that in comparison to the system that we're trying to get away from. So to me, that like all the stuff that's been coming out lately, all the attacks, like I've seen stuff on X, formerly Twitter, to invoke Chris, that there's all these different layers on top of it with the ETFs and everything, and Bitcoin's they're able to inflate it now because that's not Bitcoin, because not your keys, not your coin, and so people are just getting a rude awakening into what actually is Bitcoin, which is not buying through the fiat system into a promise of a bit. You actually need to own it yourself. And so I think if you understand Bitcoin from a first principle standpoint, you won't even be attracted by that stuff.
I want to go back to this Q thing, though. I think you're hitting on something, G. Can you think of anybody, and this some people might not want to hear this, but anybody who's been woken up by Q since Trump walked away? Is there anybody that's like come across the Q drops since 2021, and that is how they got into the info war?
I'm sure that there have been.
Do you know anybody? Do any of you know anybody personally?
I do. I know some of my normie friends that I was talking to about Q a long time ago that kind of dismissed me. They listen to me, they humor me. They're conservative, but they're very much normie, Fox watching normies. And all of a sudden, they're like blowing up our little group chat with Q posts and some guy on Facebook, doing a little reel about, Q and this and that. And they're like
people who didn't read into the Q drops at all before.
What's that?
They didn't read into the Q drops at all before?
No, they I would tell them about them and they would sort of humor me and just kind of shrug it off. They didn't take it seriously. And now all of a sudden they've got questions and they're following people that are talking about Q. I don't know if they're following the right people. I mean, the link they sent me, I didn't even know who this guy was, but he's talking about very basic stuff. I mean, it's kind of funny because I'm just like, I had to bite my tongue not to say, dude, this is what I was trying to tell you like 8 years ago. And now all of a sudden you're interested. And that's why I was saying, I think it's important when somebody like Stephen A. Smith or Bill Maher are talking about Q in a non-mocking way, like saying, hey, maybe there is something to this, because it does give people social permission to maybe go back and re-examine it. Whereas they sloughed it off before because that was the narrative, is it's just a bunch of crazy people, bunch of Q-tards, so. But that's the problem. Like G is talking about, there are Q-tards in the Q movement. There are people that are muddying the water. So for people like that are trying to navigate this Q field for the first time, seriously, they could be led astray so very, very quickly, following some idiots that are saying just ridiculous stuff that doesn't matter. So like to G's point, I try to get them focused on the stuff that is important within the Q drops. Doesn't matter whether like Joe Biden was wearing some guy in a skin mask and all that. I mean, I'm so tired of having that argument, but like those things don't matter. But there is a lot of stuff that really does matter in there and is really important. G specifically talking about Bitcoin and how it's related to the Q post. That's important. There's other things in there. There's so much in there, and I think the Epstein stuff is bringing some of that back to light and giving people social permission to look at it again. And I'm seeing that in some of my friends. I don't know where it's going to lead. I'm trying to guide them, and say, okay, now that you're interested, you really want to hear this out. Let's talk and let me help you not fall into some pitfalls, but go down the right rabbit holes.
I wonder how many people got doomed out who were, because a bunch of my friends, I don't have anyone who's listen to me talk about Q back in the day that's coming back and being like, hey, what's going on with this? I have more people that I know that were into the Q drops that ended up sort of falling away, so to speak, because they got doomed out because of 2020 and the Biden years and all that. I wonder what the ratio is of people like that.
I'm sure there's a lot of people that got, jumped off the bandwagon and now they're going to be jumping right back on, the more some of these things start to line up, when you talk about the 3 movies playing at the same time, and that's literally happening right now more than ever. I know there's been times in the past where you say, oh, all 3 movies are playing, but it's coming to a head. I mean, there's people really panicking in DC. You can feel it. You can sense it. It's, the Guardians of the Pedophiles, and this is all out there right now, playing at the same time. And I kind of think it's got to happen. We've had faith in it. We've stuck with it, but like I see a lot of people dropping off too. Like, you
but
said,
also like what are you as an individual going to actually do about it? Right? Like, is the military going to swoop in and save everybody? Like, that's not happening to a degree, right? Like,
no, and that's the misinterpretation, right? That's the pitfall. There's people out there, so that's that stuff, and it's dangerous.
And that's why I'm trying to like push people along and be like, guys, you're in a system where you have no power and no authority. There's only one way out of this, right? One way is picking up muskets and going to like Washington, which we know like that's not going to work, right? It's not going to work in this day and age. So what other methods do we have to retake our power back? Like, what logically can you think of? Like, is it voting new people in? We obviously know that's not working. The Republicans have the House, they've got the Senate, we have the Supreme Court, and nothing is being done. Absolutely nothing. Right? Our money is being spent on foreign wars, on bullshit constantly.
Fraud.
And it's all in front of your face. And it's like, what can an individual do? What is the most effective thing an individual can do to contribute to this war? Right? Like, honestly,
I have an answer.
No, I
need
don't.
to go to my Twitter and share this video so it gets to Trump, so I can ask him why we're paying taxes. That's what you can do right now.
Is that the one that you submitted for the for like the X contest or whatever?
Oh fuck no. I wrote an article for that. Did you see my article for that contest? G?
So.
It was really good. Let me show you this. A comprehensive list of the ways the government improves your life.
I saw this one.
There's too many on there.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, that's my like. The media sucks. The new media isn't any different. Let me interview you, Trump. I mean, there's no way he'll do it, but guy can hope.
Well, play that video. I couldn't hear it.
Oh, I didn't play it, but I'll. Yeah, 1 second. Here we go. This is my public request for an interview. Americans feel like we don't have a voice. We feel forgotten. We feel manipulated. We feel lied to. When Carolyn Levitt told us that there would be new media at the White House, I was hoping things would be different. But nothing's actually changed. The new media is just more of the same. These people don't actually represent us, and none of them are asking the questions that we actually want to see answered. The professional propagandists and social media influencers are the reason behind the division in this country, and we are frankly sick of it. You've repeatedly called the mainstream media the enemy of the people, and yet you and your team continue to give them exclusive access, and they in turn use that to undermine you at every opportunity. And that's why I'm making this video. I am humbly requesting the opportunity to interview you. No agenda, no bullshit, nothing slanted by foreign or corporate interests, just one interview, in person, unscripted, unedited, for the people who feel unheard. Thank you for your attention in this matter. Super gay. I felt super gay even posting that because I hate doing like, hey guys, please share my video.
I think the lotion oligarch.
Either way.
That's what made me break character and laugh.
I think if he hears it, he'll be like, okay, I'll do that. You just got to get to him. I just got to get in front of him.
That's good,
pretty
dude.
good,
That's
man.
so good.
I love it, man. I love it, man.
I
Like
endorse
Jonathan
that
said-
message.
Yeah,
Thanks,
like
man.
Jonathan said, the lotion oligarch thing got me laughing. That was perfect.
Can I say this message was endorsed by a Trump, Matt?
Absolutely.
Add it.
Oh,
Put it in there.
Is Matt's last name really Trump?
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's Trump's brother-in-law.
He's got
Brother.
Trump hair, that's for sure.
Brother-in-law.
Brother.
Brother-in-law.
Assigned Trump at birth.
It's like Trump hair. Do you try to match the hair too? It looks like you're trying to match the hair too.
Never tried. It just, the hair does its own thing. It just gets pulled to his hair like gravitation or something.
It's becoming more
It's physics. I
Trumpian.
love it.
It's Trump hair. Trump hair does what it wants, man.
Exactly.
To G's point earlier, G, if you remember, I read this quote on your show from Spooner that the only security men can have for their political liberty consists in their keeping their money in their own pockets until they have assurances perfectly satisfactory to themselves that it will be used as they wish it to be used for their benefit and not for their injury. And he also says that all political power, as it is called, rests on the matter of money, which is why Bitcoin's important.
Yeah, that Spooner stuff is super interesting. That guy freaking nailed it years
Gee,
ago.
you should tell John Drake all the things you thought about him before you read Spooner.
No, I think there was a miscommunication.
I'm
No,
just kidding.
I did tell him. No,
Yeah,
there
we
was a
talked about it.
miscommunication. Yeah, because there was a jury nullification thing that I thought that was his only path. And he didn't explain this other part of it to me. And I was like, yo, this is the part people need to understand.
I didn't
Like
want
that
to
other-
chief the comment microphone back at Deadwood.
I think we were just on different wavelengths there, but no, we're good now because
Oh, yeah.
Spooner's absolutely correct, and that is some of the most logically thought out ways. And you don't have to talk about Bitcoin, like just in a way where people understand that you have no power or authority because someone else has absolute dominion over pieces of you, which means they have dominion over all of you.
Yep.
Any little piece that someone else has over you means they have full dominion over everything. And
Yeah, that's
people
the absolute and irresponsible power he talks about.
Yeah, and people don't get that. They're like, well, like if we just reduce taxes a little bit, like we'll be cool. Like that's cool. You know, and I'm like, no, no, no. You don't understand. Like it's 0.0%. You get fucking nothing, bro. Like zero. Like if you want me to pay, show me what I'm paying for, right? Because otherwise, like I have no power. And that's where a lot of the domesticated MAGA evangelical cucks come from, is because
AKA
like
statism.
yeah, they're literally just they're puppets of the state, right? And they're domesticated in their own misery because they sit around and sing kumbaya songs and saying, oh, like, you know, if we just treat our neighbors better and we just all come together in love, like maybe we'll all be free. And it's like, did you guys read the Bible you guys supposedly studied? Where like, sorry, I'm going off on a tangent now, but anyways.
It's all good.
You guys should all stop paying your federal fucking income taxes to pedophiles, right? If you file your federal income taxes, you're a pussy, and you should go back to watching Fox News and CNN.
Yeah. What I wanted to say about the Q drops is I almost feel like the Q drops are as useful as the pamphlets were during the Revolutionary War, and I feel like they were spread out to give you information on how to fight back and take back your own power. But if you get the information that was in the pamphlets, you don't need to go and read the pamphlets. If it was spread word of mouth. Now, obviously, finding out what's the truth and what's not comes up to your own discernment. But I feel like it was a way to disseminate information, and I almost feel like Bitcoin was like teaching people. Bitcoin is teaching people how to create their own like muskets back then. Like it's teaching you how to make your own firearms, set up your own like defense systems, basically like a war plan for locals.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was definitely like teaching people to at least awaken to, you know, what they were going through. Like why are you under all this control? Because it talked about you know, this isn't about R versus D. You know, it wasn't political. The Q drops were not political in a sense. I mean, they were because Trump was involved. But they weren't in that way. And so it's like, okay, so we are going to maybe expose this stuff. And I think really it was to like kind of get people angry about it a little bit. Like unless you know like someone's hurting you or doing something to you, like what point do you actually do something about it? Right? Like if there's a parasite on you and it's like sucking your blood, and like, it doesn't really bother me. Right?
Well, it's
like,
only sucking on part of you.
Right. It's only part of you, right? So it's fine.
Yeah.
At what point do you be like, yo, I got to knock this thing off. I got to do something about it.
When you start to feel sick, when you can't function normally, when your life starts to change and you can't do normal life things. So people just kept getting the blood sucked out of them until they started to like faint and pass out. And then the Q drops came along and they're just like, wake the fuck up. You need to go to the hospital, or you need to do a dewormer, maybe not the hospital. But yeah.
But it's like in your face. You're literally funding very enemies that are using all the NGOs and the industries and the institutions against you. Like, I don't know how much more clear it can be. And so like this is a filtering process, right? Like in 1776, it wasn't a majority of the population. It was a very small portion of the population that changed the course of the war, that made the push to cut through. And then everybody else just kind of followed along because that's just how it's always been, right? Because it's too scary for everybody to get involved because, you know, they're protecting their families, like they're protecting their assets. I get it. Like it is what it is.
But I think your point was, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I think your point's perfect though, because I feel like that's why it took 9 years to get here. Is like we had that 3% talking about the Q drops or whatever, bringing up Bitcoin, and then it took 9 years, but eventually everyone now is just like, fuck it, I'll get along, because they're just like, these people are not quitting. Like we haven't given up, and the other side has. Like there's still some of them left, but like they're strong soldiers from before. I feel like a lot of them are falling off, man. You got Bill Maher over here throwing other people under the bus. You got the Clintons running from different things. You've got all these stories coming up. It's like the rats are scrambling. And I think it took 9 years just because it was only 3% or a small amount doing it, but no one stopped. So that's why we're here.
You also don't take down a centuries or even thousands of year old satanic pedophile death cult in a weekend.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Jonathan, I think that's the big mistake a lot of people that were into Q early on made, was thinking this was all going to happen overnight. Like they thought the Q drops were meant in real time, but this is like, people have asked me like, well, how long do you think this is going to take? I said, it's going to take as long as it takes. I don't, you know, that's all I can say is however long it takes, it's worth it. You know, we can't go back to to being asleep and going back to the old ways. But to G's point, here in California, you're here in California, G. Like I got friends, that a buddy of mine that I just had dinner with the other night, and he said to me, he's like, he had this big epiphany. He's like, dude, literally everything they do in Sacramento is to hurt us. Everything. They're not working for us. They're working against us. Every single politician in Sacramento. But he's kind of dooming out on it. I mean, it is a thing to doom out on in a sense, but he feels hopeless. Like what can we possibly do? It's a lost cause. So like, how do you explain to them that this is something we can do? I mean, I know people like if you just throw Bitcoin at them, they just don't have any understanding of what that means, or they don't understand the whole digital 1776 aspect of it. They think of it as an investment. That's it.
Yeah, they don't really understand that they don't own anything. Like
right.
Their houses, their cars, right? Like their bank accounts, their stock portfolios. Those are all pieces of paper on a Excel spreadsheet that can be edited at any time. Mm-hmm. And so they don't know property ownership. And this comes back to the Spooner stuff, right? It comes back to absolute ownership of your body, right? Of assets. And we've just lived in a world where we've just been like, you know what? Like it's a little bit of a pain to have a bank or have these other intermediaries, but they help me out, man. Like I'm just so used to the system I'm in that like, I don't want to rock the boat. I don't want to cause any red flags. I'm just going to I'm going to pay my taxes. Like they're just so domesticated through licensing, through permissions, even the signs. Like how many signs do you see in a day when you just walk down the street? It's like, oh there's a sign there. There's a sign there. Like you literally are like, oh my God, what am I, and there's some people that won't even cross the street. They're not even paying attention, like mentally, if there's no cars coming, that you could just walk across the street, right? Because it's not green, and right. We live in this world where it's just like, okay, stop, go. And you're like, you're robotic in a sense. And then if you think outside of that and you're like, wait a minute, if I don't own this and I don't own that, and if I try to rebel, they'll just take it. Well, then there's no point in fighting. And if it's like, hey, like, what if I showed you something you could actually own that the government couldn't take from you? And you could just opt out. And then like, what would they have to do? Like, what, gameplay that out. What does the future look like where individuals own something that the government can't confiscate, inflate, or block? Like what kind of world is that? That's what I'm thinking, because most of the MAGA people I talk to is they just want to fight the same way in the same system that we fought forever. And it's like, how many times are you going to bang your head against the wall doing the exact same, like, time and time again, every 4 years, and just completely rug pulled every single time? And I don't know what.
As I said earlier, the programming is really, really effective. And they also, to be fair, they make extreme examples of people. So I saw someone mention in the chat, a guy named Kent Hovind, who I used to follow back in high school. He's a creation evolution guy. And he tried the whole sovereign citizen thing, and he ended up spending like 10 years in jail because he wasn't paying his employees. He wasn't withholding his employees' taxes and was doing stuff to try to get around all that. And so that's part of the problem, is all they need to do is make a few really, really big examples, and it is effective. And I mean, going back to Spooner on the taxes issue, it's not as simple as just not paying your taxes, in the same sense that fighting back in a dark alley when some guys come up to mug you, it's your money, your life. That's not consent. We're an imprisoned, captured, enslaved society. And so what I'm trying to do personally is take measured steps to protect my family, but to continually march in the direction of getting as switched over as I possibly can to those parallel rails. Because it's not just money. I mean, the tokenization of contracts, even down to, if you have a business and you want to have a contract with a client or something, you could tokenize that, and then in any kind of legal situation, that's there, that's preserved. It's completely without any kind of mediating entities or whatever. And so it creates a lot of freedom where we're stuck within these rails where you have to get licenses and you have to get insurance and all this kind of stuff. That Bitcoin, Bitcoin fixes this. It's people. I think one of the gaps in the education for people is that it's not just money. And that, Lowry talks about that. We use the term coin. It's not really. It's just zeros and ones, but that it's much, much more than a coin. And coin was kind of a way to get into people's mind because, people have money on the mind. And then as you start to learn more about it and you go, and that's the thing for me when I was reading through Spooner, I mean, I've read him for a long time, by going deep into reading it and taking notes and then turning around and teaching it on my show, that as I'm reading through this, like, well, that's Bitcoin. Well, that's Bitcoin. Well, that's Bitcoin. And that it was ironically I was already buying Bitcoin. I was already, understood it to a degree, but being refreshed in true libertarian, not the wimpy political party, true libertarian ideas, and recognizing that this is like, if you were to create the ultimate weapon, like, stir into a pot all of Spooner's ideas, then out would come Bitcoin because of the quotes that I read earlier and all of the above.
Yeah. And then if you think the Q operation is real, remember, Q never mentions, Bitcoin, never says a word about it. But if the Q operation is real, and then you're able to put this across the drops, then you're like, holy shit. Like, this has always been about pedophiles running the politicians through the banking cartel. Like, that's the premise of the entire Q operation, right? Yep. The first time Epstein is mentioned is on 11/11. I even think they released the files at 11:11 a.m. on that January 30th. And again, that's just kind of more of, what I talk about in seeing patterns in the drops. Because my whole thing was like, well, if these are connected, maybe I can find a pattern in the drops that can prove my theory. That was the whole point, right? It's like, well, if these two are connected, maybe there's a way I can prove it, right? And that's what I think I did with the Kofefi dick. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. But like, you have to have some fundamentals of like understanding these things. But like, I just think, once people see that, they'll be like, well, oh my God, like, there is hope for us. Like, we can fight our way out of this. We can do this. We can take the high road. But I see we're putting Zach to sleep over there. So
no.
He's been searching for a minute, man.
No,
I
I think
there like 10 minutes ago.
I've been scrolling through Twitter because I'm like, you guys are on a roll. I mean, I'm not going to butt in. I have a tendency to speak when I feel like I need to speak, and I just didn't feel like I needed to speak. And plus, I just found this video of these really weird looking people. It made me think about what I said last week. I do want to go on record and say that my Instagram feed is not deformed kids and racist stuff. There's definitely some racist stuff in there. I mean, I can't lie.
I'm so glad I don't have to make that caveat.
But I was just trying to be funny and be inflammatory. Mostly it's like gross out AI videos and a lot of racist stuff.
Oh man, that's great. That is great. I love it.
Oh man.
But it made me think about it because I just found this video that as I was scrolling through my
Should we play it?
We should play it because it really just man. Let me make this bigger.
Oh man, I love this show.
I don't even know what's going on in this video, dude. Like,
oh, I think no, I don't know if I've seen this one.
Hold on. I just don't know what's going on.
Better stop playing with my boy. You see, he gave me this chain, nigga. Talking about he ain't win, but he been had money, nigga. He signed me, boy.
Like, what's going on?
What the hell is that?
What's going on?
What type of drug is
Gave
that?
me this
thing
chain,
on,
boy.
bro?
Ain't that right?
Keep playing with him, we're gonna crash your ass, boy. Not playing, boy.
Yeah.
Crash.
Like, I feel like he's about to order biscuits and mustard.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh.
I actually don't think those are the people that we're fighting against. I think those people are irrelevant in this whole battle.
Oh no.
Like,
They're like
they have found their happy
in
place.
the story.
They're not leaving.
They're NPCs. They're NPCs for sure.
They are definitely NPCs. Yeah.
What a simulation is. These NPCs are getting crazy, bro. They're crazy. Oh my god!
I will tell you this. I did see this just as we were coming on the air. I think it's the Fifth Circuit Court just handed President Trump and the administration a major win on habeas issues. Now there is the DHS was correct. First, obviously, they don't have to have a warrant. If they arrest you, you're an illegal alien. They have no responsibility to release you. Like, once you're in the custody of the federal government, you are not leaving the custody of the federal government until they put you on a plane and send you out of the country. So all of this bullshit that's been going on since the beginning when they started arresting people, filing all of these legal challenges and habeas corpus motions, that's all over. Now these people are done. Like the other day, did you guys hear the story last week of an illegal that was arrested? Well, okay, first of all, he was driving down the road with his 5-year-old son. They pulled him over, and he just jumped out of the car without putting it into park and ran with the
What
kid
the fuck?
still, with the kid still in the car. And so the car's rolling down the street, and the ICE agents are like, what the fuck? Like, dude, you just left your boy. And so they had to stop the chase. They get the kid, and the kid's like, where's my dad? You know, he's crying and shit. And so they took him to McDonald's, and they took care of him, and they figured out where he lived. And they go to the house. Well, they eventually got his dad. They caught him. Somebody else drove off with the car, but they went to the kid's house, and his mother apparently lives there, and maybe like 10 other family members, but they're all illegal. So nobody would answer the door. They just they knew the 5-year-old kid was out there with somebody who isn't a parent, but they didn't answer the door because they don't want to get arrested. And so they had to take the kid with them, and they put him together with his dad. And the dad was like, yeah, leave my kid with me, because if I get deported, I'm going to take my kid with me. And like a couple of days ago, a judge ordered that this guy and his 5-year-old son have to be released, even though he's illegal, even though he's already had a final order of removal. And but now it's all over. We don't have to.
Well, that was the case where the leftist media was up in arms, saying that the ICE was separating kids from their parents, and so it was like the dude literally abandoned the kid.
He separated himself from his kid.
But that was like a big story for a couple of days. The narrative.
ICE is using children like worms on a hook, trying to get the illegals to come outside.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
What the fuck?
Absolutely nuts. Hey, I got accused of being racist in a really novel way the other day. I could tell you guys about.
Tell us.
So I have this patient comes in every Tuesday, and she's a nice lady, but just super, super far left. And so we were talking about real estate, and this house.
Is this the one that gave you the spices or something?
No, this is a different one. But yes, that one.
She left.
That one never came out, Jonathan. She bailed, and I shan't be seeing her again. But this one comes every Tuesday, like clockwork. Nice lady, like I said. We avoid politics for the most part, but so we're talking about real estate. This home next door to my parents' house was coming up for sale, and it's really bitching. And I was telling her about the layout, and I said, "Yeah." And then you walk through, and then you go into the master, and there's like a fish tank in there and everything. She's like, "Oh my god, well, what did you just say?" I said, "You walk into the master, and there's like," she goes, "Oh my god, it's not master, it's primary." And I said, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah, nobody calls the bedroom a master anymore." I'm like, "What? Like, what happened? What did I miss?" And she said, "Oh no, that's a reference to think about it. It's a reference to slavery." And
you
and
moron.
I was like, "Oh, okay." And I said, "Oh, that's interesting." I said, "No, I don't really talk about real estate much, so I didn't know that was a thing, And I said, "Yeah, I've heard people call it master forever, even on super left wing at HGTV, they call it master bedroom." But anyway, so she lectured me on this, and then I said, "Are you sure that's the origin of where the term master bedroom came from?" I go, because there's other terms that use master in them, like master of your own domain and master of your destiny and stuff like that. And she goes, "Oh yeah, I'm not sure that's where it came from, but once you hear it, you can't go back."
Well,
so
if you see her next time, you just let her know that it actually originated in a Sears and Roebuck catalog in 1926 in terms of a Dutch colonial home kit. Had nothing to do with slavery. It was the most upscale bedroom for the master of the house. That probably won't do much for her.
I should have known Zach knew the answer to where that phrase came from. So I will absolutely tell her that. But the best part of the story is I just back. I go, okay, cool. It's the primary, whatever. And so when I was walking her out, and I said, "Okay, well, I'll see you next Tuesday," and she looked at me and went, because she comes every Tuesday, right? And I said, "See you next Tuesday." She goes, "Oh my god, do I have to explain that to you too?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you do. I have no idea what we're talking about."
You should know that one, J-Trick. You should definitely know that one.
And I should know that one. And to be honest with you, I kind of did, but I just kind of wanted to see what would happen.
That's funny. I mean,
another Stern talking to, and And I was like, okay, see you next week. How's that? Is that better? But like, yeah.
That happened to me at a software company too. We had this one program where we would call them master and slaves, and there was a huge
that's drive speak, of course.
Yeah.
And so it was pretty funny. Total LinkedIn.
Bay Theater
corporate
Dave
meeting.
says Jay could have said massa bedroom.
Massive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you should've
The
said
massive bedroom.
The massive bedroom.
Yes, balls.
Yeah, the point is that it's not that it came from slavery directly. It's that we like the sound of the word and the concept master because as white people, we just love being racist and we love the master-slave dynamic.
Yeah,
And
it's a good thing she
want to be
explained that all to
masters,
me,
you know?
because I was just about to talk about how cool the slave quarters were in the back. You know, thank God she caught me.
Man, it must be exhausting being white, being racist all the time. Like I could never do that. They accuse you guys of being racist.
I'll
They
tell
say
you, it's not that difficult.
White man's burger.
Like
No,
I
it's
speak
not.
like a baby.
Well, you must be a master racist or something. You must be really good at it. You're the best racist around. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
People need to grow the fuck up, bro.
Bro,
Like,
I
how old
am
was
the
this
final
lady?
solution, guys. Okay.
Jay, this lady had to be 50 plus, right? Probably.
She's like 57, something like that. Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, she's 50 years into her life and she's policing other people's language like she's 5. Like I remember when I was a kid and they're like, you can't say that. You can't say but. I'm
But
like,
I swear, I go like, I should have become a medical doctor instead of a chiropractor because we just get zero respect. Like I like a patient on a table, like talking to me down like that, and I just laugh. I'm like, it's okay, whatever. I have to like literally. This is what I do though. Less people think that I treat like my liberal patients differently than my conservative ones. I don't. I treat everybody with the best of my knowledge, the best of my skills, and I have to say a prayer before I treat everybody because it's so hard. You to be good to everybody and try to even someone like that I'm so diametrically opposed to and believes, and he wants to talk down to me and lecture me about my language and this and that and yeah, exactly, Jonathan. It's like I do.
I mean, that's kind of dumb on her part. Like you are literally cracking her neck, and
I have a coffee cup that one of my patients gave me, and it says, "Careful, I crack necks for a living, or I snap necks for a living, or something like that." So
I mean, you don't want to lose a regular customer, but you could tell her, stressing out about other people's language is probably why you have such high cortisol levels and have so much tension. So that I have to keep adjusting.
I tell them stuff like that all the time, Jonathan. I mean, I definitely get my little digs in on that, but I don't want anybody out there to think that it's just like I've got this double standard because I don't. It's not what I got into healthcare for, and I try to treat everybody equally, no matter how repulsive their thoughts and what they say in my room may be, because it gets exhausting. I sit there and it's just all day long Trump bashing. I got just bashing everything I believe in. It is tough. So I'm looking forward to retirement. It would be nice.
Man, that sounds like a dream too. Listen, I need somebody to set a timer on their phone for 120 seconds. If you would, please set it. Okay. All right. Now, Pilot Bryce.
Go ahead, Ken.
Pilot Bryce is paid $10. And he says, this is for Matt Trump to speak uninterrupted for at least 2 minutes on the topics already covered or anything else. And Bryce, as much as I respect you, you must not understand the format of the show. But let's go ahead and we will set that timer and we're going to give Matt Trump the floor for 2 minutes. Personally, I think he's brilliant. I think we all do. I love hearing Matt talk, but we're going to do it. We're going to put him on the spot.
Okay. 120 seconds. So, okay.
2 minutes.
So, anybody see the...
You already fucked it up, Cam. What are you doing?
I hadn't started the timer. Go. 150.
Right. Anybody see the opening ceremonies of the Winter Olympics tonight? Speaking of Illuminati, because I did, and it was interesting. There was a Stargate and a labyrinth. And Andreas Bocelli came out and sang Nessun Dorma.
Nice.
Tonight?
At that point, I began to think that maybe Donald Trump had arranged the whole ceremony. It's very nice and minimalistic. Those are my initial impressions. And I know the Olympics are sort of, there's sports for one thing, and we know sports is just a big diversion. And that also there's the Olympics are, it's the International Olympic Committee, which God knows who they're connected to. It's like one of those Swiss things, and
1
so,
minute.
but I still like watching the athletes go out there and actually the human competition. Clearly, people are trying to do their best. I don't think it's rigged at all. Like, the NFL seems to be somehow. Times. So it's nice to see the excellence and then also have it be like a blur where every day you master the rules of understanding a new sport. So I like it. I don't know how I'm going to do that and watch all the Badlands shows at the same time, which I've been wanting to do, maybe like one ear and out the other. So anyway, I don't know if anybody else saw the Stargate tonight, but it really made me think that the ceremony is about it's some kind. It made me feel like it was a comms that we're going into a new era, and then the Nessun Dorma that's the song, right? That Trump puts at his rallies, that like some kind of, it's from a movie, like where somebody goes around killing a bunch of people at the end.
Yeah. All the bad guys get it.
Absolutely. All right. So that's close enough to 2 minutes. There
well,
we go.
Hold on.
Okay.
I have a question for Matt.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Matt, so it says physics trump. Like, are you a flat earther? Like, what's the deal with the physics thing? Like, what's your thesis?
No, I'm not a flat earther. I put physics there because I still aspire to continue my career as a research physicist. I still call myself one. I'm still active in research as I once was. So that's why.
Oh, cool. Okay. I'm not super familiar with that, so I'm just asking. I don't know.
It's really prosaic. There's nothing super special about it. Just that I was like, what is my Twitter handle going to be? I had a corny avatar and hid behind it in my first Twitter account, and I was like, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm just going to be me. I'm going to use my name. And I know people think I'm faking the name somehow, and somehow they get offended by it. I'm like, no, that's just my name. I forget that I share the name with the president most of the time. It's like being a fish in water. I don't notice it until somebody points it out. And I'm going, oh yeah, that is sort of weird for the thousandth time that I've thought about that.
Are there any flat earthers on the panel tonight? Is there anybody here that's a flat earther?
No. I'm agnostic.
I don't.
I
think
mean,
the Earth is flat, but I don't think it's the shape they told us.
I have a very strong opinion of it, but it's not.
Yeah.
What's
your opinion, Jeffrey? I'm just curious.
My opinion. I personally think it's a CIA or some kind of deep state op to make us all look crazy and stupid.
The flat Earth thing. Yeah.
I think that they know that we are very vulnerable to any kind of conspiracy theory. So you just put out the most ridiculous one that is totally meaningless. Doesn't matter, even if it's true. Who cares? We can't get off this earth. It's completely stupid to even argue about it. But it's just one of those things where people are more than willing to jump on without, just because it is a conspiracy. Because the one thing I always get is an answer is, well, they lie to us about everything. I'm like, yes, and they're lying to you about that. Where do you think that theory came from?
I'm just like wondering, like, when they run out of room, because like Elon is pumping all these stuff into space, right? Like something is up there, like it's circling around. It's not just for nothing, you know. And so, like, at what point do they just like be like, "Yo, we got to give this one up"?
And I say, look, every scientist, every astrophysicist, everybody, half my patients are from Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena. I'm like, every one of them thinks they're doing something in space. So, like, are all of them in on it? Because, like, that's a lot of people to be in on the joke.
Seriously,
I mean,
you think somebody would uncover something?
But honestly, with any conspiracy, I always ask myself why, and that's the one question nobody seems to ask. Like, why? Who benefits from this? Who would benefit from this being hidden from us, right? And it just, I got nothing with flat Earth. Like, why? Yeah. What sort of evil plot does this advance to convince everybody that the Earth is a sphere? And that's where it just loses me. I'm like, there's no benefit. So then why would anyone go to this trouble and these lengths to
yeah, and that's why I asked Matt about the physics Trump, because I was like, well, maybe there's a flat Earth thing in there. Who knows, right? Like, you never know these things.
That's so tragic that's where your mind left. But I understand why.
No, but I would assume you wouldn't have taken that approach because you put physics in there, and the flat earthers don't believe in physics to some degree because they don't.
No, that's trying to have an argument where they're held to their own things. There's no coherence ultimately in what they're doing, but I will give them credit. So I did a show with Patrick Gunnels for 4 months when I first came on Badlands.
Did you really? Nice.
Yes. And that was pretty interesting because I had met him at I had met him
Threadfest.
at Patriot Double Down and Threadfest, which he did, and I loved those experiences. And then John was there. He said, well, let's have a show. And so I got to be on a show with him as the co-host, and I was excited about it. I'd given a talk about CERN from a physicist's point of view, about what it was at the conference. And so it was really snarky, you know, and I had fun with it, and I punched up the humor. And then John said, well, you guys should have a show. So we did have a show. And then like 2 days before we were going to have our first show, Patrick comes out on John's show, I think on Devolution Power Hour, and says, I'm a flat earther, and the earth is flat, and I know I'm right. And, you know, Patrick, God bless him, he gives this, you know, he often gives that attitude like, you know, unless you believe with me, I pretty much don't have any intellectual respect for you. You know, he has that, you know, that kind of.
He knows that all too well.
Oh, I know that all too well. But hey, so if you guys remember Austin Steinbart, he was
This
like
is the guy who pretended to be Q.
Hey,
he the guy who said he was
Zach,
Q, came back.
Yeah, I put it in the chat. There's a new video he just put out. Zach, should we watch it real quick?
Oh shit, you're kidding me. Okay,
No,
yeah, we can watch it. Hold on. I want to give.
Okay.
I want to give another shout out to Bryce, because I want you to know. I know your name, bro. I know you're old school. I know you've been here from the beginning, and I want everybody to understand that pretty much everything we try to say on OnlyLands is meant to be humorous. So please don't ever take anything to heart. Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
like another thing.
Serious.
I've got the Jigaboo song. I've got the Jigaboo song from Boondocks queued up to play tonight. And I really hope people don't get offended at that, especially Cam. But Bryce wants to make sure everybody is clear. Dude, I'm a fellow Arizona and Badlander from the start. Know the format. I saw Matt on John's show today while the Olympic ceremonies were on, and realized they start today. Matt is a great addition. He just proved. I do not disagree with anything you said in there. That's why I wanted to make sure when we saw Matt come in earlier, I wanted to let him know how appreciative I was of his presence here, because we've been doing the show for so long and Matt never ever came. And then so now after the last couple of weeks, he's been showing up, and I think it's awesome. So Bryce, we love you and we appreciate the support, homie. I should probably also say thank you to Cindy Waters. She said, when I was a kid, I used to love triggering my sister with the word jigaboo. Now I watch Badlands and she has a couple of them daughters. there must be a life lesson in there somewhere. It's a tough lesson, and sometimes people have got to learn it. And then Keith O'Higgins, let's see. Keith O'Higgins says, thanks for the new language lesson, J Triot. I have to explain now to my penis primarybation. Oh, rather than masturbation. Oh, hold on. There we go. All right. And then we got a link from G Fontes. We'll pull that up here in just a second. Go ahead and pull up that Austin Steinbart video. Let's take a look.
I haven't thought about him.
What has Austin been up to? I mean, he must be done with his probation.
I don't think I can do it. I think you have to do it, Zach.
Oh, did you send it in the chat?
Yeah, it's in the chat.
Yeah,
it's a link to his ex.
Oh, that's just.
I remember when he met with the Q shaman.
Is it like the first thing he posted on there?
Yeah, it's the first. It's the second thing he's got on there. He's got one.
Oh, it's not the trippy one.
No, it's the one below it.
Oh man,
he's got a pretty cool background. I mean, good for him. He's got that cool little like F-16 in the back or something. But
okay, hold on.
Here's what he says.
Man. Q has the most skills on the internet.
Hey, J Tree or G Money, there is no link from you in the studio chat.
I have one.
You guys see it?
Hold on, let me see.
I see it there.
Is it main event? The like 7-minute one?
Oh, it's the one where he's talking.
Yeah, 7 minutes. Yeah, 7 minutes. We won't have to listen to the whole thing, but let's just see what he's talking about.
Okay.
All right. You want me to put it on?
Yeah, pull it up. Pull it up. Let's see it.
Right. You might have to add it, but I can share my screen.
Okay.
So behold the real Q.
It's in the bottom. All right.
I've been wondering who he is.
Should be in the bottom now.
This should be good. This should be good.
At all.
This should be good.
Oh, I see it. I see it now.
Yeah, you see it now? Perfect.
Okay.
All right. I'll play like a minute or so.
All right, let's see what he says.
Why does Israel always get their way? After all, they're just one small country, and their interests don't always align with ours. So why is it that for decades, they've always gotten their way? The answer is because Israel is essentially our partner. And when two countries are partners, and one of the partners has an existential risk, the other partner prioritizes their needs. That's the essence of partnership. Netanyahu has been in power for 30 years. And for 30 years, he's been able to milk the idea that these wars are to eliminate existential risks to Israel. And he's used the idea of existential threats as a lever to force America to put Israel's foreign policy interests ahead of ours. It's been very frustrating to a lot of people here because it feels like the Israeli government is just this unstoppable force and that everybody has to go along with that. But now the United States has an existential threat too. China. If you listen to some of the interviews Pete Hegseth did this
All right,
summer,
it sounds kind of boring.
he
I don't
said
know if you guys
that
want to.
Yeah. This
Well,
is
the cool thing about the video is that he apparently is also anonymous as well as Q, because he's got that anonymous. tag.
No, he's Guy Fawkes. He's not anonymous. He's actually Guy Fawkes.
He's
Oh,
back.
very good. Oh,
I
so
see he
funny.
hasn't gotten any smarter. Okay. That's good.
Steinlarp.
Steinlarp. Oh my
Taking me
god.
back to the good old days there, Zach.
Well, we can look
Oh my
forward
God.
to some good material from him,
you
I'm
know,
sure.
so years ago, that he had these people that were affiliated with him and they believed that he was this, Q Messiah thing. And then they reached out to me and they're like, listen, Austin totally took advantage of us and we were brainwashed and we want to come on your show and we want to talk about the experience. And I was like, okay, I never really talked about Austin Steinbar before because I just thought he was a LARP. And so then they came on and we had a conversation for like an hour and there were like, 5 to 10 people in the chat who were like, oh, you're red shill. Why won't you admit that Austin is Q and nobody's going to take you seriously now? And I was like, I am not worried about you handful of people who believe that Austin Steinbart is special taking me seriously. And, I said, I don't agree with you. And that's really all I got to say about it. Like, I'm not very worried about it. And so, like, every now and then, somebody would like pop up and say something. And then like the most horrific part of the story is that the guy and his girl who had like fallen under Austin's spell, they apparently fell under his spell again. And they like disavowed me. They disavowed their interview on my show coming out and doing it. And then that was like the last thing I heard about them. And that was like 4 years ago. Pretty insane.
Not that I needed convincing, but like I said, when he met with the QAnon shaman, it's like, man, how can anybody not see right through this whole thing?
Have you seen him recently? Like, he has gone off the deep end.
The shaman dude?
The shaman dude.
No, I
like,
haven't.
he
yeah,
like
he's
complete psychotic break months ago.
Well, okay. I have a hard time accepting complete psychotic break given that as the standard.
Well, okay. So whereas before he had his character and then he had his like personality, he has now completely internalized that like Joker persona as who he is. And if you go and look at his timeline, everything is in all caps and it's disjointed, and he'll go on tears where for hours he'll just be tweeting to no one. Like nobody is looking at it. People have just like done the Homer Simpson backing away. Even the people who thought he was, cool. It's sad. I want to make sure everybody understands. I'm not like, making fun of his plight. It is sad to see somebody have such a public disconnection from reality. On air.
Well, let's
and like,
just be honest. Like we all share that sort of DNA code, and we're only a couple chromosomes being away from that. So let's.
sure. That's why I'm saying anybody can like lose their mind at any time, right? I mean, like that banana's right in front of you. If you take the step the wrong way, then boom, you're on your ass.
No, but there's been some people that literally had to get a 5150, right? They literally had to be mentally committed for some of this stuff.
I know, I can think of a couple of people off the top of my head. I won't name them, but I mean, right. We have lost men along the way. It's been very, very sad. Yeah.
The info war is exhausting.
It is.
Hack it.
It is, like that's why I'm so glad I woke up at like 9 because I've been dealing with shit for fucking 40 years. Okay. like I got the patience of Job with this stuff. That's why I'm so excited all the time. I'm not angry. I'm not anxious. I'm not upset about the way things are going because I can objectively look at my life as a timeline of the deep state. And I can see how far we've come from that point. I watched us nearly lose the country, and then I watched it slowly start creeping up again. Like we have crossed that threshold at which the red line crosses the blue line on the Georgia and Maricopa County vote counts right there. Like we are now back on top. It's good.
I think it's kind of funny though, with like if you go back through like all the Q people from back in the day, it's kind of like where are they at now type of thing, Zach. It's almost like a funny. We should have like a a Q-tard reunion, you know? We should almost do like a thing of like go through like where they were and what happened to them now.
Where are they now? Wasn't that a show or something?
Yeah, like honestly, it's been like 10 years almost. Like there should be like an anniversary at the 10th year of the Q drop. Like we should go do
dude.
What were they
That's
doing
next
back
year.
then? How funny
That would be
be
so insane. On the
This has been
on
10
the
years.
day of
Like
Q's
that,
first post, Zach Payne stayed up high on cocaine all night reading the boards.
Wouldn't that be fun though? Like a 10-year anniversary show where we just like figure out like where people
I always
were?
wanted to be In Pursuit of Truth. Old Sir Patrick Mack. I loved that dude. He was so funny.
Yeah.
Or like what was that one guy that was always on the Getter? Was it the Getter one? What was his name? He was like a whole Bitcoin guy, then he went sour on it and got all black pilled. What was his name? He was an interesting dude.
Wait, who was it?
He was on that one platform. I think it was called Getter or something. And he was a Bitcoin guy for a while, but then he got all black pilled. What was that platform called?
I don't know. I'm still on Getter. I got like 4,000 people every day that watch on Getter.
Oh, really? Okay. It was another one besides Getter. It was like a MAGA platform. I forgot his name. It was like
Parler?
Coming.
Wait. I think I know who you're talking about.
Yes,
but I don't want to say his name. I think I know exactly who you're talking about. You know what strikes me as crazy is like when I see like President Trump says the other day at the National Prayer Breakfast that we are going to recommit our nation to God, once again, we are going to be one nation under God. And on multiple occasions, he's like, you got to invite Jesus into your life. Like, I mean, like, I don't know what else the dude needs to say. And somebody retweeted that and they were like, I get the distinct impression he's not talking about our God. He's talking about Lucifer. And then I see all these people in the comments and like, oh, that's so true. He's so obsessed with himself. He is his own God. He's looking in the mirror. And I'm like, you people are absolutely unhinged. Like, what is going on?
So what was that platform called? Remember it?
Well, there was Parler.
Oh, Gab. It was Gab.
Gab.
Oh, yeah. Gab. Oh, wait. Are you talking about my boy Neon?
Yes, Neon Revolt. That's that guy.
Neon's cool. Neon's great. He definitely did black pill for a while, but I mean, he's come out. He's not active in the movement, but he's a good friend of mine still. We play video games.
He's a friend of yours.
He was a friend of mine before, like, that point. I mean, like we were boys way back in the day. I actually just re-exported an interview that he and I did, like the first time he was on my show. I interviewed this guy named Giulio Occhianero. He was an Italian guy with an internet company, and the Italian government tried to frame him for some type of state secret security stuff. And he basically, caught them, and it had something to do with, possible theft of the election. And it was before the 2020 election. And then the 2020 election came and there was all that talk about, the servers in Italy. I don't remember the whole story right now, but Maria Zach was the one who was talking about it. It all came together. And anyways, Giulio only speaks Italian. And so I had to send him my questions. Well, I had to translate them into Italian and then send them to him. And then he sent them to me after translating them into English using Google Translate. And then Neon read Giulio's answers and I asked the questions live. And he's still a great guy. He wrote a book. He wrote a book, and it was very very helpful for a lot of people.
Awesome. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I love when that ends up happening. You're not too sure about a person, and then you get to know somebody, and you're like, no, I actually know them personally. That happened with Jordan. I used to think Jordan was just like a CIA shill. I told him this before, and like it was so funny. It was so funny. I was like, and I like he was like the only person that I was just like, I'm gonna go to war against this person's like narrative. And I had like a little account. This was like 2020, and then I started like digging into his stuff, and I was just like, oh, this guy's right. I'm like, wait, should I be following all these other people? I literally scrapped every other person that I was following that was attacking Jordan, and then just started like searching for people. That's how I found you guys. It was like through Jordan, but it was hilarious how that works. It's like you think somebody's one way, and you find out who they are, or somebody personally knows them, and you're like, all right, I get it. That's cool.
And you were like, yep, I was right. I was totally right.
I didn't know he was racist though. I always thought he was a non-racist idiot. Now I think he's a genius that is extremely racist in the best way possible.
Oh, that's great.
I fucking love that guy, man.
You guys, it's midnight. I have to go. It's Lisa's birthday. I promised her I'd be off before
Happy birthday,
midnight.
Lisa.
Happy birthday, Lisa.
Can anybody else end the show?
I don't.
Do you know where
so.
John and Ash went? I thought there was something.
They
happening
both
at the end or
left.
something.
They both left. They fucked me basically because I told them I couldn't stay all night, and now I did it. All
So
right,
we got to end really quickly then.
listen.
I
so,
might be able to get into the studio the other way. Real quick. I know you got to go. Let me. If I can do it in
Yeah.
like 5 seconds.
Okay.
Let's see. No, I don't think I can get in here. We're gonna.
Yeah.
file
Okay.
that.
Well,
All right.
in that case, we have
Good
to
night,
end the show,
everybody.
you guys. All right. The final Rumble rants. 417 Patriot says, I effing love this show and all of you guys. I can't wait to see all of Gart and April and Cam. You are the best token black dude that Badlands could have ever asked for.
Yeah.
Love it.
What about JB?
Keith O'Higgins says, well, he's not here, so she'll say it the next time he's on the show. I'm afraid these flat earthers are the same people worrying that Trump is digging down under the White House too far and will end up in China. Sleep State, has Matt Trump been attacked for his last name? And actually, you mentioned that earlier. You say that happens regularly.
I just get snark sometimes, but 95% of the interactions are positive. I honestly, I love having the name. I love telling people my name because I get so much love for it, more than you think. And that's the superpower that having this name gives me, is that I get people's spontaneous reaction when confronted with somebody with the name Trump, and they'll react, and I get way
the
more
ultimate
love.
sifter.
Yeah.
That's
and
one of the many reasons we love you, Matt.
thank you. I'll take any excuse to be loved.
This is that picture that G. Fontes sent earlier. And that is it. That is officially all of the rants. So I just figured we'd go out on this from G. Fontes and say thank you very much. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks,
I love all of you guys as well. I want to echo that sentiment from the audience. I also love everybody in the audience as well. Lisa is telling me to stay, but that's what she would say until I come in at 1 o'clock. Right? It's a trap. It's a trap.
Happy birthday, Lisa.
Everybody say happy birthday to Lisa because it is
Happy birthday, Lisa.
Her
Happy
birthday.
birthday, Lisa.
All right, you guys, take it easy. Good night, and let me. I'm gonna have to do a video, aren't I? Hold on.
While you're doing that, Jay, what time's your show tomorrow?
Show's 3:00. We're doing Super Bowl hype songs.
6 Eastern time.
Yeah, 6 Eastern. Yep.
Right on.
7:30 for me.
Pacific.
Eastern-
Guys, sorry.
Eastern time.
Yeah, and then
Hey.
Cam, you're on set right after us. 7:30.
Yep. 7:30.
No Treason will be live on Sunday.
Nice.
Oh,
Live on
So
Super
we
Bowl
can talk
Sunday.
shit to you and make you cry while you're
Admitted.
talking. Perfect.
okay.
But
So
Claire had a good question. It's going to cover half the show.
So the video that I have selected to play, actually, my audience requested that I play it on the show earlier today, and I forgot. And this is because we just arrested some other guy who may or may not have simply been in Libya during Benghazi. I don't know what the story is, but apparently they arrested him. So what difference does it make?
Yes.
Good morning. I'm here to give you an update on the FBI's investigation of Secretary Clinton. What I want to do is tell you what we're recommending. But first, let me tell you what we found. 110 emails in 52 email chains have been determined to contain classified information.
What difference at this point does it make?
8 of those chains were top secret. 36 of those chains secret. And 8 contain confidential information.
What difference at this point does it make?
Everything I did was permitted. There was no law, no regulation.
Secretary Clinton should have known that an unclassified system was no place for that conversation.
I did not email any classified material to anyone on my email.
None of these emails should have been on any kind of unclassified system, not even Gmail.
Well, first of all, nothing was marked classified.
To the contrary,
Nothing was marked classified.
there is evidence of
Nothing was
tremendous
marked.
amount.
Nothing was marked classified.
Now let me tell you what we found.
Oh my gosh.
110 emails.
It was not the best choice.
52 email chains.
It was a mistake.
Have been determined to contain classified information.
What difference at this point does it make?
8 of those chains were top
It wasn't the best choice.
36 of those chains
I said it was a mistake.
8 contain confidential information.
What difference at this point does it
With
make?
respect to our recommendation, this is going to be an unusual statement in at least a couple of ways. Although there is evidence, our judgment is that no reasonable prosecutor would bring such a case. I know know there will be intense public debate. I know there will be intense public debate. I know there will be intense public debate. What difference at this point does it make? 110 emails.
It wasn't the best choice.
52 email chains.
I made a mistake.
Have been determined to contain classified information. What difference at this point does it make? 8 of those chains were top
was not a good choice.
6 of those chains
I said it was a mistake.
and 8 contained confidential information. What difference at this point does it make?